Snowflakes drifted lazily outside, coating the streets in a pristine white blanket. Inside, our home glowed with golden lights, the scent of cinnamon and pine wrapping around me like a familiar embrace. Christmas Eve had always been a time of joy, laughter, and togetherness. Yet, as I stood by the fireplace, nursing a glass of whiskey, an unshakable unease clawed at my chest. Evelyn, my wife of 11 years, floated through the room with effortless grace. She was breathtaking, her emerald green dress hugging her curves, auburn hair cascading over her shoulders. But something was different tonight. Her smile, usually warm and inviting, felt rehearsed. Her laughter, once infectious, rang hollow. Family and friends filled the living room, glasses raised, voices weaving together in festive chatter. My parents sat beside Evelyn's mother and father, discussing Oliver's recent school achievements. Our 10-year-old son tore into an early present, his giggles warming my heart. For a brief moment, I allowed myself to believe everything was normal, that this Christmas would be like every other, filled with love, warmth, and tradition. Then Evelyn tapped her spoon against her wine glass. The room hushed. Eyes turned toward her. I straightened, fingers tightening around my glass. A strange knot formed in my gut. She smiled, but something about it sent a chill down my spine. "Everyone, I have an announcement." Murmurs of curiosity rippled through the crowd. I shifted, pulse quickening. "Evelyn, what's going on?" She reached behind the couch, pulling out a neatly wrapped gift bag. With a flourish, she retrieved a crisp stack of papers. A black pen clipped to the top. Divorce papers. My heart slammed against my ribs. My breath hitched. The room tilted. Evelyn's voice remained steady, composed. "Daniel, I'm filing for divorce." Gasp. A collective inhale of shock. The festive warmth in the room drained, replaced by an icy stillness. My mother clutched my father's arm. Oliver's face twisted in confusion. I forced words past my tightening throat. "You're joking." Evelyn exhaled, shaking her head. "I've already signed. You just need to do the same." The audacity. The cruelty of her timing. I swallowed hard. Why now? Why like this? Her emerald eyes locked onto mine, devoid of the love they once held. "Because I want to be free. And because you deserve to know the truth." The truth. I barely had time to process before a figure stepped forward. Liam. My best friend. The man I had trusted with everything. He avoided my gaze, shifting uncomfortably. Evelyn reached for his hand. Intertwined her fingers with his. My stomach plummeted. A sickening realization crashed over me like a tidal wave. She wasn't just leaving me. She was leaving me for him. Liam and I. Evelyn lifted her chin. "We're in love." A deafening silence stretched. Then, chaos erupted. My father shot to his feet, rage coloring his face. My mother whispered a frantic prayer. Oliver's small hands trembled as he clutched his toy. But me? I felt nothing at first. Just a cold, hollow numbness creeping through my veins. Liam, my Liam, shifted beside her, shame flickering across his expression. Yet, he said nothing. I swallowed against the rising bile. "How long?" Evelyn sighed, as if inconvenienced by my question. 6 months. A bitter laugh escaped me. 6 months. I turned to Liam, fury bubbling beneath the surface. "You've been sleeping with my wife for 6 months, and you still had the nerve to drink with me every weekend?" Liam looked away. "Coward." Evelyn lifted her chin, unapologetic. "I never loved you the way I love him." The final dagger. My chest tightened. My grip on the whiskey glass threatened to crack it. "You planned this," I said slowly. "You waited until Christmas Eve. In front of our son. In front of our families." She shrugged. "You wouldn't have let me go otherwise." Rage burned through my veins, hot and unforgiving. "You underestimate me, Evelyn." She smirked, unbothered. "Sign the papers, Daniel. Be a man about this." A man. I exhaled, forcing control. I wouldn't give her the satisfaction of seeing me crumble. Instead, I turned to Liam. You know, I always thought of you as my brother. My voice was calm, but the storm inside me raged. I trusted you with my family. With her. Liam flinched. Evelyn sighed. This conversation is pointless. My mother stepped forward, trembling. Evelyn, how could you do this? Evelyn's expression hardened. Because I deserve to be happy. At that moment, I saw her for who she truly was. Selfish. Cold. Ruthless. I looked at Oliver, my son, my everything, and something inside me clicked. This wasn't the end. This was war. Without another word, I grabbed my coat and walked out into the freezing night. As the door slammed behind me, one thought consumed my mind. They thought they had won. But they had no idea what was coming next. Cold air bit at my skin as I stepped into the frigid night, my breath curling in the winter air like smoke. Christmas lights twinkled mockingly from every house on the street, their warmth a stark contrast to the ice settling in my chest. Behind me, inside the house that was once my home, my wife and best friend basked in their betrayal. Family voices rose in shock, but I didn't care to hear the rest. The damage had already been done. My hands clenched into fists. 6 months. For 6 months, Evelyn and Liam had been sneaking around behind my back, sharing whispered secrets and stolen kisses while I played the fool. And they had the audacity to humiliate me on Christmas Eve. Anger surged, molten and consuming. I should have seen the signs. The late-night work events. The sudden need for space. The way Evelyn had stopped touching me, looking at me like I was just another piece of furniture in the house. And Liam, had been right there, playing the part of my best friend. Drinking my whiskey. Laughing at my jokes. Pretending to have my back while stabbing me in it. I exhaled sharply, forcing myself to think clearly. Storming away felt good in the moment, but it wouldn't change anything. It wouldn't take back what they had done. And it wouldn't protect Oliver. Grinding my teeth, I turned back toward the house, stepping inside just in time to hear Evelyn's sickeningly sweet voice. You'll sign them, won't you, Daniel? I stepped into the living room, and all heads turned to me. The tension in the air was suffocating. My mother's face was tear-streaked, my father's knuckles white against his drink. Oliver sat curled on the couch, confusion and fear swimming in his young eyes. And Evelyn, she stood there with a glass of wine in one hand and those goddamn divorce papers in the other, looking pleased with herself. Liam stood beside her, shifting uncomfortably. He wouldn't meet my gaze. Coward. I tilted my head, voice eerily calm. You really thought this was the best way to tell me? Evelyn smirked. I didn't want to drag it out. I huffed out a bitter laugh. How considerate. She shrugged, swirling her wine. It's done, Daniel. Fighting it won't change anything. I turned my gaze to Liam. And you? You have nothing to say. He swallowed. I never wanted to hurt you. You didn't. My voice darkened. Because screwing my wife and announcing it in front of my son really makes me believe that. He flinched, but Evelyn squeezed his hand, silent reassurance passing between them. That was the last straw. I exhaled, running a hand through my hair. Fine. Evelyn blinked. Fine. I walked over to the papers, grabbed them, and ripped them in half. A gasp rippled through the room. Evelyn's eyes flared with irritation. You child, she snapped. That won't change anything. I'll print another copy. I smirked. Do that. And while you're at it, print one for my lawyer. Her brows knitted. What are you talking about? I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only she could hear. You humiliated me tonight. You think you've won, but you have no idea what's coming next. She rolled her eyes. Oh, please. Don't be dramatic. I leaned in, voice cold. I'm not the one sleeping in another man's house on Christmas Eve. Her smug expression faltered. Liam stiffened beside her, realizing the weight of what I had just said. That's right. My house. The mortgage was in my name. Evelyn had no claim to it. I turned to my parents. Take Oliver home with you. I'll pick him up tomorrow. Evelyn's eyes widened. Daniel. I cut her off. You don't get to play the mother card now. You embarrassed him tonight. You chose this. Oliver's small voice broke the tension. Dad. I crouched, pressing a hand to his shoulder. Go with Grandma and Grandpa, buddy. I'll see you in the morning. His lower lip trembled, but he nodded, trusting me. I watched as my parents guided him out of the house, his small frame disappearing into the cold night. A pang of guilt stabbed through me, but I swallowed it down. Evelyn's face twisted with frustration. You can't just take him from me. I smirked. Watch me. Liam grabbed her hand. Come on, let's just go. She huffed, snatching her coat off the chair. This isn't over. No, I murmured. It's just beginning. And as I watched them walk out into the night, I realized something. I didn't just want to move on. I wanted revenge. The silence in the house was deafening after Evelyn and Liam left. Only the Christmas tree lights flickered in the dim room, casting long shadows against the walls. I stood there, heart pounding, the taste of betrayal still fresh on my tongue. They thought they had me backed into a corner. They thought I would crumble. They were wrong. I poured myself a drink, letting the burn of whiskey steady my thoughts. If Evelyn wanted war, she would get one. But first, I needed a plan. Digging for the truth. The first step was gathering information. I wasn't going to blindly react. I needed leverage. I grabbed my laptop and settled into my office, the glow of the screen illuminating my determined expression. Over the past 6 months, Evelyn had grown secretive, changing passwords, locking her phone, staying out late. If she had nothing to hide, why be so careful? I had suspected something, but I had trusted her. Never again. Accessing our shared bank accounts, I noticed something odd. Large withdrawals. Multiple transactions made in cash, spread over several months. And then I saw it. A hotel charge. The date? A night she had told me she was working late. My fingers tightened over the mouse. I clicked further, uncovering more. Restaurants I had never been to. Weekend trips I hadn't known about. A second phone bill linked to her name. And then, my stomach dropped. A deposit, $20,000, wired to an unknown account 2 weeks ago. I leaned back, heart hammering. Evelyn hadn't just been cheating. She had been planning everything. Her escape. Her new life. And that meant one thing, there was more to this than just lust. I needed proof. Unraveling the lies. The next day, I met with a private investigator, a man named Carter with sharp eyes and a reputation for uncovering everything. I handed him a folder of information. I want every detail about Evelyn and Liam. Where they go. Who they talk to. Any dirt you can find. Carter flipped through the pages, nodding. Give me a few days. If she's hiding something, I'll find it. I shook his hand, knowing that by the time he came back to me, Evelyn's perfect little plan would be in ruins. A surprise visit. That night, I did something I knew would shake her world. I showed up unannounced. Evelyn had moved into Liam's apartment, and I knew she wouldn't expect me. I knocked, and when the door swung open, Liam's face paled. Daniel. His voice was strained. I smirked. Relax. I'm not here to fight. Evelyn appeared behind him, dressed in silk pajamas, her expression morphing from surprise to irritation. What do you want? I stepped inside without invitation, letting my gaze sweep over the space. It was pathetic, smaller than our guest room back home. I turned to Evelyn. I came to see how you're settling into your new life. Her jaw tightened. It's none of your business. I chuckled, pulling a piece of paper from my pocket and handing it to her. Actually, it is. That's a notice of property division. Since our house is legally mine, you have 30 days to remove your name from any ownership claims. Her eyes widened. You can't. Oh, I can. I leaned in. And I will. Liam swallowed hard. Come on, man. Let's handle this maturely. I turned to him, amusement flickering in my eyes. Maturely? You slept with my wife behind my back and made a scene in front of my family. You don't get to ask for maturity. He had no response. Evelyn crossed her arms. Is that all? I smirked, pulling out one last thing, her second phone. The one she thought I didn't know about. I held it up. Recognize this? Her face drained of color. Where did you? Doesn't matter. I tapped the screen. What matters is who you've been messaging besides Liam. A beat of silence. Then her lips parted. Daniel, I'd sked, shoving the phone back into my pocket. We'll talk soon. Enjoy your night. And with that, I walked out, leaving them in stunned silence. They thought they had me beaten. They had no idea I was just getting started. 4 days I waited. Patient. Calculating. Watching as Evelyn and Liam enjoyed their little fantasy world, thinking they had won. But I knew something they didn't. I wasn't a man to be crossed. Carter, the private investigator, delivered his report 3 nights later. I sat across from him in a dimly lit bar, my fingers drumming against the table as he slid a folder my way. You were right, he said. She's hiding more than an affair. I flipped open the file, my eyes scanning the pages. Photographs, financial records, screenshots of text. And then, the real kicker, Evelyn hadn't just been sleeping with Liam. She had been meeting another man. A wealthy one. Who is he? I asked, my voice steady. Carter smirked. Some corporate guy. Owns real estate. Been whining and dining her behind Liam's back. I let out a low whistle. She's playing both of them. Yep. And that 20 grand she wired. Carter tapped a document. It's not a gift. It's a down payment on a condo in her name only. I sat back, letting the information sink in. Evelyn wasn't just a cheater, she was a gold-digging mastermind. But now she was my puppet, and I was about to pull the strings, setting the trap. That weekend, I made my move. Evelyn and Liam were attending a holiday gala, one of those fancy, overpriced events she loved. And so was the other man in her life. It was the perfect setting for destruction. I arrived early, blending into the sea of expensive suits and glittering dresses. Champagne flowed, laughter echoed through the grand ballroom. And there, across the room, was Evelyn, wrapped in a sleek red gown, her arm curled around Liam's. But not for long. The moment her real lover walked in, I watched her expression change. Her grip on Liam loosened. Her body angled toward the other man. Poor, clueless Liam. I made my way toward them, a smirk tugging at my lips. Evelyn. Her head snapped toward me, her fake smile faltering. Daniel? What the hell are you doing here? Liam frowned. Man, you need to back off. I raised a hand, cutting him off. Relax. I'm just here to talk. Then, with a calculated glance, I turned to the wealthy man Evelyn had been sneaking around with. Nice to finally meet you. The older man looked confused. I'm sorry, do I know you? I chuckled. No, but I know your girlfriend. Silence crashed over the group. Liam blinked. Girlfriend. I feigned surprise. Oh? You didn't know? Evelyn here has been keeping secrets. Evelyn's face went pale. Daniel, don't. I pulled out my phone, scrolling to a series of photos Carter had taken. One by one, I showed them. Evelyn slipping into a car that wasn't Liam's. Evelyn on a romantic dinner date with another man. Evelyn checking out a high-rise condo with her newest lover. Liam's face drained of color. What the? The wealthy man stepped back, his expression darkening. You told me you were leaving him for me. Liam turned to Evelyn, his voice rising. Wait, what? Evelyn stammered. Liam, I leaned in, my voice dripping with amusement. Did she forget to mention she was double-crossing you too? Liam's fists clenched. You lied to me? Evelyn's mask cracked. It's not like that. Oh, but it is, I murmured, savoring the chaos. Liam turned to the wealthy man. She told me she loved me. The older man scoffed. She told me the same damn thing. Evelyn's eyes darted between them, panic setting in. Guys, please. But the damage was done. Liam stepped away, shaking his head in disgust. I left everything for you. The wealthy man chuckled bitterly. Looks like we were both idiots. Evelyn's carefully built empire crumbled before her eyes. And I just enjoyed the view. The final blow. As Evelyn scrambled to salvage the wreckage, I delivered my last gift. I leaned in close, voice low enough for only her to hear. "Oh, and by the way, your condo?" I smirked. "The money you used? That little down payment?" I had it flagged for fraudulent activity. Her breath hitched. "You wouldn't." I winked. "I already did." And then I walked away. Liam and the wealthy man left soon after, leaving Evelyn alone, humiliated, and exactly where she belonged, at the bottom. She thought she had destroyed me. But in the end, I had ruined her. And damn, it felt good.